tuning in to USK Karate Academy's Technical Tip Series. My name is David Alvas, Master Instructor and Director of USK Karate Academy. In today's technical tip, we're going to overview defensive hip to create proper blocking techniques. Let's start by first overviewing the angles that we need to accomplish in order to be able to perform any kind of defensive technique properly and with maximum power and the least amount of effort. First we'll come to attention, go into Junbi. Now when practicing defensive hip, it's best to try and do it without a block. So we're going to take our arms, we're going to leave them down by our side, and we're just going to focus on the angles. It's also important to remember to make your breath motivate your hip movements. So as I inhale, that's what's going to turn my body. To prepare for a defensive action, we're going to turn our hips 45 degrees with the inhale, drop the weight, and move the front foot onto the ball of the foot while the back foot is flat. Okay, so I'll demonstrate that one more time. The inhale is going to turn the body and drop the weight. 45 degrees, arms are completely relaxed. Now what we're going to practice is literally falling forward, leaning forward, and as we fall, we're going to rotate our hips halfway to 22.5 degrees. And snapping the hips forward. We don't want to end up completely facing the front, rather finishing at 22.5 degrees. So one more time. The inhale, 45. And the exhale is what creates the explosive turn in the hips. Okay, other side. Front foot is on the ball of foot, 45 degrees. Finishing at 22.5 degrees in a nice front stance. Now I'll demonstrate that with a block so that you can see the proper application. 45 degrees, 22.5. Preparing for a step forward. 45 degrees, back is straight, front foot on the ball of foot. Turning to the front, 22.5. That's your proper defensive hip. A few important tips when practicing defensive hip. It's important to follow a process whenever you're performing a block. And that process starts with your shimgung, or your intention, your negung, which is your breath, and then finishing with weigung, which is your hips. That process is critical for performing a proper block. It's important to make sure that the inhale guides the preparation and that your exhales guide your execution. Lastly, make sure not to step into your stances. As we talked about earlier in the video, we talked about falling forward as we execute and allowing our front foot to catch us as we turn from 45 degrees to 22.5 degrees. Make sure you emphasize that falling action rather than trying to step into place. Thank you very much for tuning in to USK Karate Academy's Technical Tip Series. Once again, my name is David Alvas. I look forward to seeing you next week.